Good afternoon. Welcome to the afternoon experiment. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I'm with you for a couple hours. I hope everybody's having a good day. I'm having an all right day. I'm vexed about something. I'll share that with y'all later. It's that thing I was telling y'all about yesterday as I was going off. Yeah, I can share it now. But I'll talk about that later. I hope everybody else is doing good. I hope everybody else is doing good. Let me go to the phone and say hello to the people. Louis Talbert, good afternoon. Welcome to the show. Thank you for checking us out. Appreciate you. Regina Denson Griffin, representing Madisonville, good afternoon. Thank you for checking us out. I appreciate you as well. Shannon C. says, hey, King. Hey, thanks for checking us out. Appreciate you. Dina Johnson in the house. She says, good afternoon, King, and the Afternoon Experiment family. Checking in from Walnut Hills. All right, Walnut Hills in the house. We got an angel among us. Thank you for checking us out, Dina. I appreciate you. And what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4. And rounding out the top 5, Nick Brown says, greetings, E-Man and the crew. Checking in from beautiful Blue Ash. Well, thank you for checking us out in beautiful Blue Ash. I don't know what's going on over there on YouTube. It used to just have your name up there, but now it's got, I guess that's still your name, but it's the, at, like this is at Nick Brown 8164, instead of just saying Nick Brown. I guess that's your email, which I guess that means I just gave out your email, my bad. But it used to just have your name up there. I don't know what they're doing. They're doing something a little different. Makes it hard for me to, immediately look and see the name. So if I have to, the screen is over there. So I have to, that's because I'm trying to read the name. It's smaller font as well. So that rounds out the top 5. Thank you guys for being vigilant. I am going to check on the notifications. I'm going to do that tomorrow. I would say I'm going to do it today, but when I leave here, I'm apparently going to a hockey game after the show. So, yeah. Maria Smith, representing, I'm going to assume that's North College Hill, not NVH. Thank you for checking us out. I appreciate you. Tanika in the house. Tanika, representing beautiful Orlando, Florida. Good afternoon. Thank you for checking us out. Sierra Brooks says, oh, wow, I thought you were abandoning us today. Sierra, you are a hater, just so you know. No, why would you think that? I thought I'd be on around around 3:30. Why would you say that? I would draw a parallel, but I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let it go for now. But thank you for checking out the show. I appreciate you. I got to pick with you. You know what I'm saying? You started a fight with me about something, and so now I have to pick with you like almost every day. I don't make the rules. Ronald Dixon. Ronald down at Sand School. All right. Well, thank you for checking us out down there at Sand School. Lewis C.K. Johnson, representing Clifton. He's congratulating me for getting my children through high school. Okay, I guess I'll take it. But that was not a hard task. That was just accept it. That's what's gonna happen. I don't think we ever had a conversation, like, my house growing up. I don't ever remember having a conversation of, when can I drop out? You can't drop out. What do you mean I can't drop out? It was just understood when you graduate high school, what do you want to do? The graduating high school part was a given. Like, I never thought in the 3rd grade, like, I could stop now. I never thought in the 6th grade, man, I've accomplished something. My work here is done. 9th grade, I didn't think, it's over. I'm finished. I've done enough. It was, you're going to graduate. And then what do you want to do? So, okay, thank you, but that was the easy part. That was the easy part. Dwayne Larkin, good afternoon. Representing Mount Airy, good afternoon. Jacqueline Carter, our own Wonder Woman. She says, afternoon, everyone. She's checking in from Evanston. Thank you for checking us out, Evanston, in the house. Danny B. Dozier, our own Batman. We really just need a Green Lantern and then an Aquaman. And then we about got the Justice League. Good afternoon. Thank you for checking us out. Darnell Hunter says, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you, Darnell Hunter. Good afternoon to you. Terry Anderson. Good afternoon, Terry Anderson. I appreciate you. Andrea Bussell. Andrea Bussell. Good afternoon. Andrea Bussell. I'm sorry, Terry's representing downtown, and Andrea's representing Gulf Manor. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining. Chelsea says, we are going to a hockey game. Hold on. Are you in town? Because if you're in town and you want to go, I think you can go. I think I got an extra ticket for you if you want to go. I might even have two for you if you want to go and bring somebody. But you're probably not even in town. You just playing with my emotions. I don't like that. Chelsea, good afternoon. Thank you for checking us out. Sandra Campbell, Sandra? I'm sorry, Samuel. I don't even know where Sandra came from. Samuel Campbell Jr., representing Sycamore Township. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you for checking us out. I appreciate you. Pat Rogers in the house, representing East Westwood. Good afternoon. East Westwood in the house. Mary Birch Lavender says, howdy, King E, and all the beautiful people. White Oak in your house. All right, White Oak and Mary. Good afternoon. Thank you for checking us out. Candy D. Good afternoon. Representing Coleraine Township. Candy D in the house. All right. Appreciate you. David Herring is here as well. He says he's representing Around the Way. Not 100% sure what that means. But okay, Around the Way. Appreciate it. Sierra says, happy Friday. Sorry your Friday has been vexing. We'll get into it. We'll get into that. We will. Jerica Van says, you're alive. Thank you for letting me know that. I wasn't sure. But you exclaimed it, thus it's so. And she says, Hola me familia. Hola to you too. Hola to you too. Fame says Etsu is here. He's representing Beavis, Gross Beezy, and White Oak. You can't be in all three places at one time. You can't be. But thank you for being here wherever you actually are. Wherever you actually are. I appreciate you. Jeffrey Williams says, God afternoon, E-Man. Checking in from Pleasant Run Farms. All right. Well, God afternoon to you too. Not sure exactly what that means, but it sounds good. Oh, Chelsea says, I was already invited by the missus. Oh, she didn't tell me that. I will be at your house promptly at the time me and Mrs. Livingston discussed. That could be anytime. I don't know. You might catch me in a certain state of indecency. Somebody better let me know what time you're going to be here. Yeah, I might walk around the house naked for all you know. Somebody need to let me know. Let me see. Tony Revels says, what up, E-Man? What's up, Tony? I don't walk around the house naked, but you never know. You know what I'm saying? You never know. Tony Revels says, what's up? What's up, Tony Revels? Ken in the house, representing Virginia, though he's from Cincinnati. Ken, I appreciate you. Terry Coleman says, hey, checking in from E-Town. All right, Evanston in the house. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Mike, good afternoon. Representing Woodlawn. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Mary says, did I make the top 10 at least? I don't know. I don't know. Sierra says, nice job hacking link and show. I like the no caller format. I be trying to not talk about stuff. And then y'all be bringing it up. And then you know I got to talk about it if you bring it up. Brenda says hello to some of y'all from old ass Brenda. Not dead yet. Well, I don't know that I love that characterization of you. I'm glad you're not dead. And hello to you. Hello to you. I hope everything is going good with you. Appreciate you being here. All right. So that's it. That's all of the hellos. Good to see that everybody's here. Everybody's doing good. Hold on. Let me look at something here. Okay. Um, Twin says hello. He says some nonsense behind it. We'll just try to deal with the non-gibberish parts of his post for the day. So, hello, Twin. Hope you feel good and everything's going good. How is that walking pneumonia going? Did the cane help? I'm just curious. I'm just curious. T. Mikey G says he's representing North Avondale. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. All right. That show today was awful. That was awful. That was like a train wreck and a half. You've been doing this for 75 years and you can't talk for an hour without calls? You had 3 hours advance notice. 3 hours to prep. When I was there, if they said to me, hey, you're not going to have any phones today, 3 hours in advance, I'd have been like, okay. I'd have just kind of doubled up on the show prep. So I'd have had, plenty of information and some entertainment for, 3 or 4 hours worth of show. I wouldn't have had to pull out my phone and call people to help me do the show. And I hadn't been on the radio for 75 years. What talk show host worth his salt can't do a talk show? Has to have, Terrence gonna help me. And again, Terrence was the MVP of the day because all kind of nonsensical things were going on. And Terrence was kind of trying to be the, hey, you really should line up those calls on the break. That might sound better. Like that, you would think that a person who's been doing this for 75 years would know that. They would know that. I was really like, he can do it. He can do it. He can do it. He can do it. And then I was like, okay, he can't do it. And that was sad. It was sad. But, I mean, he's a local celebrity, so some people gonna be all on his jock. Like, oh, that was good. Oh, that was good. He called people. In my history of listening to talk radio across the spectrum, I've heard a lot of talk. And really, a lot of those hosts don't take calls. They might take one or two. Might take one or two for a whole 3 or 4 hour show. But they did show prep. So they got stuff lined up to keep you informed and entertained. That's the standard. And that's like the minimum. How you been doing it for 75 years and within the first 30 minutes, you out of stuff to talk about. And you ain't even said nothing. It's terrible. That was awful. Talking about cutting some slack. That was awful. That was awful. Shameful. That was shameful. It was absolutely shameful. Shannon said, what was the problem? Apparently something happened with the phones. It's happened before. I've had to do shows with no calls because the phones was down. And I didn't pull out my phone and start calling my friends. That was, I don't care what y'all say. I'm telling y'all, that was awful. He should be absolutely ashamed of himself. He won't be. But he should be. And it'd be different if they sprung it on him at the last second. He said they called him at like before 7 o'clock. His show don't start till 10. That's 3 hours you have to do show prep. Maybe something is going on with him. You never know. Oh, I know. Something is going on with him. He's not a smart man. And he's lazy. And he's not really a talk show host. He's, at best, a facilitator of comedic phone calls. But that was horrible, horrible. For all y'all thinking, oh, that was good. It wasn't. It was awful. Terrence saved the day. They need to give him a raise, a bonus, a promotion, and a damn Jeff Weiler car. Terrence saved the day. Coincidentally, Cheryl Underwood popped up. He didn't plan that. She just happened to pop up. That saved the day. And of course, my favorite friend of the week, Tierra Powell. Being able to say, hey, I'm across the street. I can come over there. Save the day. Fame, I'm going to read this for a reason. Fame says, Emanuel, all jokes aside, which, by the way, I'm not joking. This is mad unprofessional. This is not a professional format. This is my format. And tastes like a heaping bowl of sour grapes from you. It's more than that. When you become an iconoclast, it's more than that. And let me explain. Let me explain something. And this is the petty stuff that I was talking about that I was going to share with y'all. And this is why he'll get nothing from me except grief moving forward. Do y'all know that man confronted my wife? He saw her out alone at an event. It was a professional event that she went to, and he confronted my wife. You need to talk to your husband. What man does that? He wouldn't have did that if I was there. He wouldn't have did that if I was there. And he wouldn't have approached me. But he got the nerve to approach and confront my wife? What is going on with the men here in Cincinnati? That's the second man who was mad at me. So they decided to approach some woman and confront her about me. What's going on with the men around here? Now, there was another party involved. And, because I'm this type of guy. You do something I don't like, you know what I do? I call you. I called the other person and said, hey, we might need to talk. And they said, hey, what's up? And I said, what was this about confronting my wife? And then this other person said, well, I didn't confront nobody. So when I walked up, they were already saying whatever they were saying. I wasn't 100% sure, but you were the topic of conversation. And so, I just joined in what I thought was a conversation. It's like, I don't have no problem with you. I didn't say nothing negative about you. I wouldn't call myself confronting nobody. I was just because how, we go at it and everything. And so I was just kind of, and I said, well, no, you didn't understand then what you walked into. But you walked into a man confronting another man's wife. And he was like, bro, I'm telling you, I apologize. I promise I didn't know that. I wasn't aware of what was going on. See, that's me. That's who I am. I got a problem with you. I'm going to call you. We're going to talk about it. Hopefully everything going to be okay. I'm not going to see your wife out and confront her. You better talk to your husband. Well, why don't you talk to me? And again, this is the second time that's happened. Not him and my wife, but another one, my friend. I don't want to throw her name out there unless she want to throw her name out there. My friend gets confronted by somebody. Because she's my friend and she listened to me. What is going on with the men in Cincinnati? When did these men stop being men? Ed says, who confronted your wife? Lincoln where? And it's a part of me that's like, I know where this brother work. But I'm not into, and I've been fighting it. Like, but I can't let it go. You can say what you want to say to me, but you ain't man enough. I would never go confront Mrs. Ware. Now, if Mrs. Ware has something to say to me, then we can talk. If Mrs. Ware start hurling insults at me, trust me, I'm going to start hurling them back. But I don't perceive that she's that type of person. But what I look like seeing Miss Ware at the mall, walking up to her talking about, you need to talk to your husband. And she just be like, she don't follow this stuff. So she like, what's going on? What am I talking to my husband about? What did my husband do? What's going on? She's completely caught off guard. And I've been a little upset, a little furious. How long ago did this happen? Not long ago. Not long ago. I'm just saying, who does that? I've seen, and I don't want to say, again, I don't want to say nobody's names in this. I've seen, Tria says this was recent. Yes, this was recent. I've seen a certain talk show host, wife, out at a number of events. And this is what happens when I see her. Hey, how you doing? I'm doing good. How you doing? I'm doing good. Everything going good with you? Everything is going good with me. Oh, it's good to see you. It is good to see you too. That pretty much be it. That pretty much be it. Because again, I assume, she don't know that he beefing with me. And I'm not actually beefing with him. And she's a nice lady. Why would I? You need to tell your husband. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? I'm a man. So if you beefing with me and my wife don't know it and she see you, she knows you because, so she know, and she, wave and you wave and then you, and then she like, well, I got to go to this thing, but I'll stop by and say hi when I leave. And okay, and come back and, hey, how you doing? You need to know your husband. I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to deal with that side. Like I said, I dealt with the other side. That was a conversation because I think that's what, grown people do. I don't think this part is necessarily a conversation. I don't know how far, though, to take it. I'm not approaching nobody's wife. It's like, oh, if you hit my kid, then I'm going to see your kid and I'm going to sock your kid. I would never do that. The kid ain't got nothing to do with it. The kid ain't got nothing to do with it. Bernard said, I don't know how you kept this from us so long. It ain't been so long. But I had to get some other information just to make sure that, because you just have to be sure and have all the information. So what happened? How did this happen? You know what I'm saying? Not that you don't believe, but you want to get all sides. And you're like, okay, so now it's been independently verified that this is actually what happened. Okay. No, Pat, I won't be calling and talking to Lincoln. I'm not his little monkey. Darnell says you should have been sure once your wife told you. I knew what happened, but I needed some more details because she wasn't sure about a certain somebody's name. And so we had to sit down and figure out who this other person was. And then once we figured out who this other person was, then I was cool. Then that's when I called that person, and then they verified and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so no, I'm not going to be, he did such a great job when he didn't do a good job. What he did today was horrible, but that's not because he confronted my wife. That's just because it was horrible. Band in Cincinnati. It's certain stuff. I'll just say I'm working on a plan to deal with it. Now, she didn't say, I felt threatened or anything like that. If she told me she felt in any way threatened, I wouldn't have been in no courtyard. I'd have been in somebody's front yard dealing with them. But she didn't feel threatened. And she like, well, maybe that's just how older people handle stuff. I'm like, no, that's not how men handle stuff. Ask any man. They'll tell you. They'll tell you that's not how men handle stuff. Men don't go confront men's wives because they got a problem with the man. But again, I'll deal with it. I'll deal with it. And when I deal with it, y'all gonna say I went too far. Trust me, y'all gonna say I went too far. And I'm not gonna care. I'm not gonna care. All right. What else I got? I actually got some stuff to talk about though today. Well, that's Fame's fault. Fame brought that out. Yeah, Fame brought that out. Oh, shoot. Okay. No SNAP benefits for November if the shutdown does not end. No SNAP. That is going to be really bad. That is going to, that's going to, because y'all know, a lot of people, that's how they eat. That's how they feed their kids. That's how they survive. And look, I get it. Oh, you shouldn't rely on the government. I understand that. You shouldn't rely on the government. But some people have to rely on the government. Some people have to rely on the government. And so what do we say to those people? How are those people going to make it? Well, they can go get a job. It ain't that easy. It ain't that easy. And see, it's stuff like this is why we was telling y'all, do not vote for this guy. Well, your government shutdown could happen if it was anybody. Government shutdowns do happen. But I believe the two longest ever happened under this guy. And he don't care. He don't care. I mean, to a large extent, the Republicans don't care. Oh, it's a handout. They're getting a government handout. Man, look. For some people, that's how they survive. Y'all can not like it if y'all want to not like it. Y'all can hate it if y'all want to hate it. But for some people, that is how they survive. So what do? What do they do? Barbara says, working people receive SNAP benefits. Agreed, absolutely. Agreed, they do. And that's a part of how they survive. Yeah. Right. Andrew said he won't worry about Argentina. Absolutely. And they said they spend $8 billion a month on SNAP benefits. $8 billion a month. That feel like a lot of money. $8 billion feel like a lot of money. Fame.
Good morning or good afternoon, Emmanuel. How are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm fine. I did not mean to get you upset like that. I just heard you talking about, the great, iconic Lincoln Warren. I just thought it was just like, wow, I've never heard anybody speak so negatively about the guy.
Hold on. Are you telling
And
me that you thought that show today was good? You thought that he did a good job as a talk show host today?
well, yeah, because being a 75-year-old man, the fact that he woke up and got and spent 3 hours with us, I was, to give us, elderly wisdom. I was enriched and ennobled.
Stop it. He never gave us no elderly wisdom. And I guess if the bar is that low, once you get 75, And heck, they could just almost wheel a dead dude in there. You know what I'm saying?
Well, there are no black replacements for him at this current time. You
Oh,
know, you and
no, that's not
the
true.
other guy that used to work there, you guys are hustling your own podcast and trying
No,
to
but that's
do it
not true.
independently.
Kevin is in there. Kevin is there. He's a black replacement, and he did a great job.
He did. No, he's incredible. I don't think he's a long term 10-3 guy. He'd be more of a 5-7 guy. You know, like doing that with he's like replacing the sister speak, that type of shower. I don't think he's a afternoon dry guy. The energy isn't there. But as far as just coming in out of breaks, turning phrases, well, yeah, he can do that. He's been a journalist for 30 years, and he knows how to turn a phrase or two.
Now I think a 10 to 1 guy. I think 3 hours he could do it.
He could do it. It just wouldn't be. I just don't think he could do it. It'll be solid, but it won't be banged up like the elder that is in there currently at this time.
Well, as you can clearly see, the elder that's currently in there at the time ain't what make it bang up. It's the callers is what make it bang up.
I think I blame the producer for not having the show ready.
That means you don't understand how it works.
Yeah, I don't, but I just, I can only hear Boeing so many times a day, and his off-putting sexual references. It's like, damn, you horny little yellow bastard.
Why you gotta be?
Let it go. How you ain't got no woman? You're a nice-looking guy. We worked out together.
He saved that. He saved that show today.
No, I think he killed it.
No, he saved that show today. If he hadn't been there, it would have just been silence and gibberish.
You and all. Now, see, I don't give ambiguous racial preference to anybody. No, I thought he was very lackluster, and I thought that was his fault. But having you react like that just shows everybody what I've always tried to tell everybody. When I call a show, I instantly become the thermostat. I set the temperature in the room. Everybody else becomes a thermometer. They reflect what the temperature I've set. You understand what I say?
No. No.
I'm a thermostat. I set the temperature in the room when I call a show.
Okay.
Or when I interact in a show, I'm the thermostat. Like on Wyatt's show, I'm the camera. The old school camera.
Today you was just jock riding, and I just couldn't take it. So if you want to call that being the thermostat, that's fine. But today you was just jock riding.
No, because I was just like, wow, why is Emanuel looking? This is a he's a church guy. He's of the cloth, and he's acting like this, towards an elder.
I'm telling the truth.
This is not godly
Everything
at all.
I said has
this
been
is a guy,
true.
This is the cherub that sings gospel songs?
Terrible. How do you have 3 hours notice and still can't come up with an hour's worth of content? That's just true.
I just think you needed to tell us that, we got personal beef. He ran up on my wife. He did this to my wife, like Denzel in
That's true too.
They shot at my wife. Denzel, what movie was that? American Gangster. You know what I'm saying?
Fame.
That's
I'm
what
sorry,
you should have said.
Edsel. What is going on?
Edsel,
What is up with the men in this city that's approaching women, confronting them about stuff?
Well, it's your fault. You celebrated that dude cold socking Hollywood Holly. Y'all gave him props. I was like, that was some bullshit. You ain't gotta hit no woman like that. Y'all was like, no, she got in the way. And now that same type of woman brings that same type of energy to your wife. He the worst nigga that ever lived.
Well, I didn't say he the worst.
A Marine that deserves your respect.
Okay. Okay. Look, I could have played records on the ship. I could have played records on the ship. And I wasn't even born yet.
Wow. So you could have been up there with Hannah. What's her name? Hannah Toy. What's her name? The lady from Vietnam.
Hanoi
Hannah
Jane.
Toy. Hanoi. Hannah or whatever her name is. Yeah.
I'm
So
just
you saying you could
saying,
have been
I
that
wasn't
American
even
version
born,
of
and
her.
I could have played records on the ship. You know what I'm saying? That ain't no biggie.
Oh. Wow, man.
They put a nickel
tough.
on the needle. You know what I'm saying? And you good.
You're tough. I get it though. The man accosted your woman, and and you got a bone to pick. I get it. I just wish you would have preempt or
No, that
gave
was
us
a
that disclaimer before
horrible
you
show
started going
today.
into.
It was if he never confronted my wife, that would have still been a horrible show today. A horrible example of a talk show host with 3 hours notice, and you could not put together enough information to carry 1 hour.
Yeah, but your tone would have been a lot more jovial and more joking instead of more indignant and insulting. You're making me wonder if you like black women, the way you're talking about Lincoln.
I'm just telling the truth.
I understand. Hey, you're like we've been saying about Kevin. Your opinion is your opinion. I respect it.
No, just objectively speaking, it ain't even opinion. Just objectively speaking, a guy who been on the radio for 75 years should be able to put together an hour's worth of material.
I mean, sometimes these elders, they get long in the tooth. They're no longer able to turn phrases and be prompt anymore. It happens. I just think you're coming harsh on the guy.
I am not.
You don't know what's going on in his life. How about some grace? You're a church man. How about mixing in some grace?
Y'all giving him plenty of grace. Y'all all on his job.
Just like we gave to you for 2 weeks of not being on the
when
show.
It was not. It was horrible. Like, just be honest.
We gave you grace for having.
Trust
2
me,
weeks
ain't
of no
nobody
show.
ever had a problem when I did a bad show saying, "Yo, that show was not good."
Well, you don't really have bad shows. You're just such a natural cynic. You'll blow something up.
No.
To make it interesting.
Trust me when I
you
tell
have that
you.
ability.
No, trust me when I tell you. I've had bad shows. I had to do air checks and listen to some bad shows where I was like, "Oh, can we turn it off?" I was bad. Okay, I was bad. I'm gonna do my best to not be that bad anymore. I've had some bad shows.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, I'm going to leave it there. I just want to remind everybody, stick with me so you don't get involved in any rigged games. Okay? You're going to take...
Hold on, Fang. I'm sorry, Edsel. I did read up on that a little bit. And can I just say, I think those guys were afraid. I think they done got tied up with some mob guys and maybe been threatened, and they're doing what they had to do to survive. They were afraid that they was gonna get whacked.
Yeah, somebody shows you a picture with your wife and kids in a scope of a rifle and says, "Hey, you're gonna either do this or it's gonna be a bloodbath." Yeah, you're gonna acquiesce if you love your family.
Yeah, so that's that. In all honesty, and whether or not they can say that, because that they make them rats or whatever, I fear they're gonna be too afraid to say anything, and they gonna end up maybe doing some time.
Well, yeah, because the one guy, Chauncey Billups, I mean, damn, he's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Already, it's like, what the hell are you? And you've made $100 million. What's your problem, kiddo? So yeah, but how did you get that deep in the monsters where they got their fingers in you like that to this extent?
I don't know.
I mean, this is some 1970s stuff. Like, I thought we were way past this. You know what I'm saying?
But I imagine if you get caught up with the mob, you got to do what you got to do to survive.
I mean, well, yeah, because the one guy, he was part of Miami. A couple of them were part of Miami. I mean, but they go to every big city in the country, with their jobs and whatnot, being in the NBA. So they don't tell them who they could have got in touch with. or that kind of got their fingers into him. So um, better them than me. That's all I can tell you. You know what I'm saying? So, but let me just say this before I get off here, because I don't like to be, I don't like those elongated phone calls. So let me say this: Aaron Rodgers to throw 2 touchdowns. That's Sunday night. The Patriots -7. They go. I forgot who they're playing. I think it's Carolina. No, they're going. I forgot whoever the Patriots playing. Patriots are going to smoke them. The Patriots are good this year. They're going to smoke them. So yeah, those are 2 for you. Remember, if you parlay them, that's fine, but make sure you take them singly, because you should hit at least one of them. You'll get something back. You won't lose your money. But hey, I digress. Everybody's got their own method. That's just me. It's been proven. It's been tried and true, and I stand by it. But to everybody else, it's been real. I had fun. Let's extend grace to our elders, unlike the gentleman who is presenting the program right now. I'm a wolf that likes to hunt in the daytime, but that full moon, that's my gang sign. Oh!
All right. Oh, that was fame. That was fame. Yeah, I'm not into betting. I'll do a little personal bet with somebody. And my personal bet is just, this team gonna win. That team gonna win. I bet my team beat your team. How much? $10. You know what I'm saying? I'm not into the whole gambling thing. But if that's what you want to do, it's your money, and you can do what you want to do. You can do what you want to do. But yeah, I was kind of, reading through that, and I'm like, it doesn't make sense that they're doing that stuff. And to some degree, I blame the NBA for the sports betting portion of it. I blame the NBA for that. All of this legalized betting and all of that kind of stuff, once you do that, I think you got to protect those guys from those outside influences. If you're promoting gambling and all of that kind of stuff, I think it's partially the league's responsibility to protect those guys from those outside influences.
I thought he was asleep.
Twin?
I thought he was asleep.
Yeah, he not asleep.
What's up, E?
Hey, what's up? What's going on?
You good, man?
I'm not sure. Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, I'm good too.
Yeah, the muscle strain, man. If you want to know.
I thought it was walking pneumonia. How it turned from walking pneumonia to a muscle strain?
No, I was asking my brother, and he was telling me and stuff. I remember we was in Chicago, and you was bent over, and you kept saying your back hurt and all that, and you couldn't breathe really, and he's like, yeah, and then I was like, that's how I am a little bit. He said, probably that walking pneumonia like I had, and that's why it scared me a little bit. So I went to the doctor. It was muscle strain. Me constantly lifting and, not really sitting down and resting.
Wait, just so I'm clear, you just thought it was walking pneumonia because your brother said so?
No, I remember he was bent over, and I was like, man, what's wrong? We was talking, and I came back in the kitchen. He was bent over. Like, man, you all right? And then he said I can't breathe and all that, and for days he kept saying his chest hurt and all that, and he had a cold real bad, so he went to the hospital and that. Then they said he had walking pneumonia.
And so you thought you had it because your back hurt.
And my back hurting and stuff, and I couldn't breathe, man.
And you had a cold?
No, I ain't really had no cold.
That's
I
what
ain't really had no.
don't you remember when we was talking about this and I told you you didn't have no damn walking pneumonia, you didn't have no cold, no sniffles, no nothing
Hey,
like
man, you
that.
not about to get loud with me, man.
Don't
No,
you
you ain't about to start that. You
but
ain't
don't
get
you
loud with
remember
the
I
host,
told you that?
so you ain't get loud with the host. Calm that down.
I ain't get
Don't
loud
get
with the
loud
what?
with me. Yeah, you ready to turn up, man?
No,
No, you ain't
I'm
get
just
loud.
saying I told you that you didn't have no walking pneumonia. And even if you
Man,
did have walking pneumonia, a cane does not cure walking pneumonia.
I ain't feel like going up them steps, like, so I had to have, something to pry my leg up, help me up. Shoot, 'cause I couldn't get up. Wasn't nobody else to help my fat ass up. So
Well, let
hey,
me say this
I
though.
was in pain, E.
Hold on, let me say this in your defense. I remember
Yeah.
once I was much younger and I was working at a factory. And
Excuse.
what was that?
No, I was coughing. Excuse.
Oh, that was a weird cough. I was younger and I was working at a factory, and apparently I started suffering back spasms. But I didn't know that, of course. I woke up, and like you said, it was hard to breathe. And, every time I moved, of course, it hurt really bad. I thought maybe I had broke my ribs and punctured a lung or something somewhere. And eventually, of course, I went to the doctor and they said, no, these are just like really severe back spasms. And they gave me some muscle relaxers and all that kind of stuff. So just kind of to your point, yeah, if you are suffering like with some severe back pains, it
Yeah.
can affect a whole lot of stuff, your movement,
Yeah, it's
your
almost
breathing,
like
all
in
that.
my rib cage and all that. You mean? Then I tried to bend over, then stretch my right arm out, and I couldn't really do it. Then I couldn't breathe. I said, man, I gotta go. 'Cause I was procrastinating. So should I go? Should I go? And I'm like, forget.
Wait, why
I'm
was you
gone.
trying to bend over and stretch your right arm out?
No, when I lift and stuff, I was trying to stretch out. Really, then cause it was on that side, then it was real sharp pain kept coming up. So I
Okay.
tried to stretch out and loosen my muscles, and I couldn't go, man. After I couldn't lift that box over my head or whatever, that was it. E. I
Okay.
said no. Then I sat at home.
Well,
Now.
I'm glad to
But E,
know.
man,
I'm glad to know that you did not,
yeah,
even
I
though I
was
had
kind
already
of
told
I was
you,
scared
have no
though.
damn walking
Real talk,
pneumonia.
I was kind of scared because I remember my brother stuff headed, and I was just curious and stuff, being on the safe side and everything. But E, as a real talk, on a serious note, as a man, I wouldn't go, pull up at Unc's job like that, Link or whatever. But
I didn't
as
pull
a
up at his.
man,
Hold on, hold on, hold on.
no,
No,
I'm
no,
just
no, no.
saying,
Hold
no,
on, no,
you
no, no,
just
no,
said
no, 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 no,
earlier.
no. Hold on, hold on. Don't try to correct me about something I didn't do. If you're gonna do anything, call your boy and correct him about the bullshit
No.
that
Let
he
me hold
did do.
on. Let me finish. You ain't let me finish, dog. I wouldn't pull up at his, his workstation, whatever, the environment. I'll like either call him or, after he done one of the remotes or whatever, I'll pull him to the side or the walking club or something. Hey man, let me holler at you, man. It's your, your second time. You don't get no third. And then if you got a problem with me handling me as a man, don't holler at my wife. She ain't got nothing to do with our issue, what we got going on. See, something like that is personal. If he going to check your wife and stuff about you, it's got to be some person. What you did or what you said. He don't like you, so I guess he go for your wife. That's how real niggas do, though. I mean, not real niggas, but, bitch niggas. They do hold shit like that. Oh, I see his wife. You trying to send a message through the lady and stuff to get to you. But as a person, man, as a man, I'm a hand. You ain't gonna keep coming at my wife like that. I don't give a fuck who you is. We can handle this as man. I talk to you on the phone. We can handle this face to face. But man, my wife ain't got nothing to do with this, player. Whatever we got going on, keep my wife out of this. This man, that's real
You
talk
want me
right
to do
there,
a Will
man.
Smith?
Huh?
You want me to do a Will Smith?
No. As
Keep
long as a
my
person don't
wife's
touch you.
name out your mother. That's what you want me to do.
No. I mean, if it go there, because some niggas get hostile,
No,
want
it
to
wasn't
show
your
out.
second time, Jericho.
Some niggas want to get hostile, show out, get loud, and once you start getting loud, I'm gone. You want to show out, make a scene, but I'm talking to you as a person. I ain't here to, broadcast my info or whatever we got going on. I just talk to real talk. I mean, it's something personal there.
Twin, thank you, but I'm pretty sure about what I'm
I
gonna
know the
do.
devil making you. You got an angel and the devil on each side of your
That's
shoulder,
not true.
man.
That's not true. You don't have an angel in the
Man,
devil on your shoulder.
you just said your killer instinct tell you, I want to go so bad and I want to do this. Come on, man, just a trick of the enemy, man. Leave it alone.
You don't.
If you go,
I'm not gonna leave it alone. But you don't have an angel or a devil on each shoulder. That's just something they showed you in the cartoons.
I'm just saying, man. One saying go, one saying don't go. I'm just saying, man. But as a man, real talk, he just, call him up, man. Let me holler at you.
Not gonna call him up.
We go, huh?
Not gonna call him up.
Okay, it's gonna be a time y'all go bump heads.
No, I got it. I got this.
Oh, I'm just saying, man.
Okay.
There's got to be something personal or something like that. Be like that. Hey, you go to casino eat?
No.
Or you don't?
I mean,
don't gamble, period?
I've been to the casino, but I don't gamble.
Oh. You don't play to Mega Million, none of that?
Every once in a blue moon, get up to $1 billion. I might go spend $1 or $2, but no.
Man, when you do your wife go to the casino?
No.
I'm just saying, we never get that urge, because you probably be one of them lucky, man. You slap $1 in there, you don't probably won about 100,000. It'd be your luck. You probably be surprised one day go, man.
No,
I got faith in you,
again, I went, this was many, many, many years ago. I went to the casino and I took $50 because that's all I was prepared to lose. And I played and I won some, and then I played some more, and then I lost some, and then I won some. But when it was all said and done, I walked out with nothing, and I was cool. I had a good time, and, I got $50 worth of entertainment out of it.
Oh, okay. That's what's up, though. But I ain't had too much and stuff. I just hope y'all, compromise and come together, man, because life's too short for that drama and all that. I don't know what you say on your podcast or make them don't like you, or you said that comment about his daughter and stuff, and I don't know.
What did I say about his daughter?
You remember that last year? Well, this year.
No, what did I say?
Said Roly. When she said something, you said Roly Poly.
Oh, okay, yeah, she called me short and I called her fat.
And then and he got word of it, and then, you probably be saying something about the business and stuff that how much he make, and his old ass ain't did that, and then you took your lights back. So he probably taking all that in consideration. Huh? I'm saying. I'm trying to tell you how it is.
He's still mad because I took my lights.
He took your lights and reflectors and banners and all that, and left his ass some Ricola medicine and some old Lincoln saltine crackers or something. I don't know. But it's got to be something personal that he went to your wife about it, because, a real player won't do that. I'm going to catch him. And everything. So, yeah, man. That's how it is. I don't know. That's how I look at it, player.
I appreciate your call.
Man, you have a good weekend. I ain't got too much, man. I'm just worried about y'all, man.
What's you worried about? Ain't nothing to worry about.
Man, y'all both cool, Unc and you, man. Even though you get on my nerves sometimes, but y'all cool as hell, man. Don't let the enemy do y'all like that, man. Just go ahead.
The enemy.
Go sit down and take a shot of tea or
the enemy,
or bacon or something.
The enemy
man.
didn't confront my wife, so don't put the enemy in it. The enemy ain't got nothing to do with it.
Man, ain't nothing but the devil, man. Try to cause confusion, man. Don't go back. Say that for somebody else, man.
That ain't the devil.
That's one.
It ain't the devil. The devil didn't do nothing.
Well, okay, it's y'all flesh then working amongst each other.
My flesh ain't doing nothing but minding my business.
Evidently, it ain't minding your business. You want to act like Macho Man Randy Savage. You want to jump on the old senior citizen.
Ain't nobody said that.
You won't. Man, you probably get in his face and ain't no telling, man. He say the wrong thing and little.
I am not a violent person.
You gotta be violent. It's what you say out your mouth.
I think of other ways to handle things.
Man, it's what you say out your mouth, player. Okay. You say the wrong thing, I might have to go upside your head. That's what horrible. You say, man.
That's horrible.
Ain't horrible.
Yeah, it is.
It's what you say out your mouth.
It is. You don't put hands on people because they said stuff to you.
Well, weekend. E. That's all I got to say, Cliff.
All right. Enjoy your weekend. The devil. Why people always blaming the devil for decisions that they make? Vernon said he was at the casino last night at the sports betting kiosk. I am not against people gambling. I don't want y'all to believe that. I'm not saying that. I've never said that. I just said I'm not a gambler. I'm not a gambler. I'm not running to the casino and placing bets and all of that kind of stuff. Like I said, unless I just decide it's something I want to do and, I'll set aside a little bit of money. Like I said, last time it was $50. Who knows, one day I might be feeling real good. Like I got $100 I want to spend on entertainment tonight. And that's how I choose to spend that $100 is go gamble it away. So I'm not against gambling. I just don't do it. I'm not against drinking. I just don't do it. I'm not against smoking. I just don't do it. So don't think I'm telling you not to go do what you want to do. CK.
I'll do all that shit, and I'm against it because I know the effects and how bad it is. Good God, drinking, smoking, and gambling, good God, the breakdown of society. You lose all the rent money. You know what I mean? This leads to divorce. This leads to
that's
neglect.
Only people who can't control themselves.
That's me. That's why I drink, smoke, and gamble. You can control yourself. That's why you do none of them. Discipline, sir. Discipline. And
okay.
We had a great debate yesterday. We disagreed respectfully, but today I'm right with you on both points, sir. The NBA, your opinionated opinion, I agree wholeheartedly about the fear factor, sir.
Yes.
So what we have here is, you remember, there's no fear, sir. When we go arrested, we're telling the people exactly what they want to know, so we're walking straight out of the police station, sir. This is me and you. What? We're walking straight out. Gilbert Arenas, the guys that got arrested, them two brothers, they already home. Cooperation, sir. It pays, especially with the FBI. That's why they was able to get out so quick. Gilbert went in, went out like a damn gas station. You give up the information, you give up the names.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, it's very possible, CK, that what happened is they went in, they got processed, they had their attorney. I mean, they treat wealthy people different than they treat non-wealthy people. So if they arrest me on that, I'm in there sitting around twiddling my thumbs waiting for an arraignment, and then I gotta sitting in jail overnight, and then I got an arraignment, and then I gotta arrange bail and all that kind of stuff. Wealthy people, they don't have to go through all of that. A lot of times they don't even get they allowed to come and turn themselves in, and you never see a picture of them with handcuffs on, and they treat them wonderful and all of that stuff. I think it's not necessarily, they went in and start telling on people. They got good lawyers who went in and said, let my client out of here. He gonna post whatever is bail, and they got let out because they're rich and or famous.
Rich, famous, and willing to cooperate. Gilbert Arenas did interviews the first day of his release, and he said he was willing to cooperate. He's given names. Those two names that was arrested yesterday was names he gave up. And then who did they give up to get out so quick yesterday? Whatever you need to know. Gilbert said this out of his own mouth. Livingston, your thoughts?
I don't necessarily know that. Now, I can't say that wasn't the case, but I can't necessarily say that it was, because I think if you done got tied up with a mob family, you probably not running around telling names. you gonna shut up and do whatever it is that you got to do. Now, maybe, because, I mean, I guess it could be, I ain't really afraid of no mob. I got enough money to buy my
Right.
own security and blah, blah,
Right.
blah. But
That's
more
the
than
part. Yeah.
likely, at least not more than likely, my guess is they just had good attorneys.
You know what's scarier than criminals?
No, tell me.
Prison. Jail, the law is scarier than criminals because they'll kill you and lock you up. Hey, you could kill the criminals. Hey, if you got a beef with an enemy, you could go kill him. But that law,
Hold on.
they
I don't know
own you.
about that. One of them crime families got their hooks in you, and they know where your mama and your daddy and your kids and your wife and your nieces and your nephews, your brothers and your sisters. They know where they live. They done sent you, like Fame said, pictures of your family walking around minding their own business. Some people will take a jail sentence over letting you kill, as we used to say, my whole creation.
I agree with that. You're right. And I do. I think that's part of non-snitching. What you just said right there, people that keep it real and don't snitch, it ain't that they have honor. It's that they have the fear of God instilled in them of what you just stated. That's what I think. I don't think they'd be like, oh, yeah, I live by the code. No, you're scared that if you do testify, they go wipe out your whole, what you call them, creation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So don't give people props for not snitching. They're not snitching out of fear. But if they didn't fear the people that they was going to snitch on, they'll snitch. Because remember I told you yesterday, I don't think they should be arrested for these events. I think it's just a little, hey, Livingston, hey, come on, let's watch the game, play a little poker. Yeah. That right there. I think it's that. That's nothing. We're not criminals, Livingston. We're just two civilian Americans. We're not doing anything to anyone.
Yeah, but that's not what they were doing, according, and I'm not saying that I believe what the government says, but if what the government says is true, they wasn't just having a simple game of poker at the house.
Yes, sir. I agree. Okay.
They were rigging games. They had all kind of fancy equipment, basically to steal millions of dollars from people.
Well, let me give you to the manifesto. Listen, sir, this is all the diversion from the Epstein list. I don't give a fuck about no gambling. I don't give a damn about no pit bulls fighting. Show me the list, Livingston. Show me you don't on that list. I don't want to hear about no NBA players gambling millions of dollars. That don't mean nothing to me, Livingston. I want to know who on that list. Who on the list, Livingston?
Hold on, let me ask you this. Say they tell you who on the list. What are you gonna do with that information?
I'm calling afternoon experiment first thing as soon as he open up shop. You hear me? Livingston, did you see the news?
All right, and then what are you gonna do with that information?
The same shit I'm doing right here. Talk about it in my therapy session.
So nothing. I'm not saying, that they want people focused on the Epstein files or whatever, but everything ain't a damn distraction from the Epstein files. And why do people not believe that people can follow two stories at the same time?
Because, sir, what I told you yesterday, you made great points, valid points. But what I tell you is, to equivalent your point, sir, is, yes, punching somebody in the face, you do deserve. But I don't think anybody should go to prison for fighting pit bulls. He was the first human being ever incarcerated for doing such a crime, sir.
I'm pretty sure that's not true. I would
bet money. You would bet money.
I would bet your left leg that he wasn't the first person to ever go to jail in the history of the country for dogfighting. I would almost be willing to bet your left leg on that.
Who the fuck is they gonna lock up for? Think about who they gonna lock up for. They don't give a damn. It's pit bulls. That's what they do. It's like, man, all right, I got you. I'm gonna admit that point. But yes, I'm just saying, I do agree that it's fear that has these brothers into it, even though I don't feel it's, and I don't like the fact that they're just showing those black people pictures. You need to show me those mob figures pictures, Livingston. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see my own kind. I don't want to see that, Livingston. Do you understand?
Not really, only because just a minute ago, based on what you said a few minutes ago, you shouldn't want to see the white guy's pictures or the black guy's pictures because it's all just a distraction.
Yes.
So you don't want to see
True.
nobody's pictures.
Okay, right. I'm just proving a point that it's racism because you
Oh,
arrested my brothers and you didn't plaster your white comrades on the picture. You put my people on. You've been hating those black people since they got in the NBA, made those hundreds of millions of dollars. The guy that got arrested was due to make $26.4 million. He don't need no cash. It's fear, like Livingston said. Now, let's transition to the Lincoln Ware situation. The bald head guy, with the show I told you. That was very disrespectful. You never, and when I say never, I mean ever, approach another man's. I'm beefing just like him. It's worse than you is. But when I see my enemies' spouses, it's all love, it's all respect, it's hugs, and just like you
but
said, hey, how you doing? All right. And
let
then
me
he should have said, okay, go ahead.
let me say this. I agree. That's horrible, right? But there's gonna be
Yes.
people who just love Lincoln Ware, and they're gonna make excuses for why it was okay for him to do it.
No. There's no excuse for that.
They're
That's
gonna
like
make
child
excuses
molesting.
why it was okay.
No.
Trust me.
No, some things you do. Remember, this is how we fix it. Remember they said call and make a beat? This is how he fix it, nigga. You the old nigga. So you holler at his wife, be nice to his wife, and when she tell him how cool you was, he gonna drop the beef with you. No, you trying to throw gasoline on that old man. That's why I said in the comments he using old
Trust
man
me,
privilege.
they gonna make excuses. I think Fame made an excuse. Well, he old. You know what? He old. Like that make it okay. Like
Nah.
people are gonna make excuses. Well, but he been in radio for so long, and so oh, but he's a nice guy. So oh, but he's there. That people are gonna make excuses. That's what people do.
But remember, being the bitch in you is not age. You could be a bitch at 18, at 16. If a dude acting like females, menstrual cycles, you got to be called out on it. That's unacceptable. I don't give a fuck how old you is. If you having a menstrual cycle and you coming at my wife, hold on, player. Hold on. Like you said, an older gentleman like himself, he gonna talk friendly. Hey, how you doing? Just tell your husband I said hello, like that, and then that'll get you start thinking, oh, maybe he's not that bad. But he gonna come at your wife like that? Hell no. And I understand your frustration. You know what I mean? Because that's your wife, and I know you feel helpless when you're not there. You wish you was there when he said that, right?
He wouldn't have said it if I was there. That's the whole thing. He wouldn't have said it if I was there. That's the point.
Right. Mm-hmm.
He know he wouldn't have.
Right.
I know he wouldn't have.
Right. That's facts. That's facts. But this is about manhood. You got to teach the kids. You never the women fixes the relationships, like you said, by innocently fixing it. By him being friendly to your wife, that helps mend the whole beef. Because I seen my enemy mother at the gas station and embraced and hugged her, and it was beautiful. But I let my enemy know, look, I'll never disrespect, you know what I'm saying, your mama. You feel me? So it's gonna be the same love. He should have showed her the same love he been showing even when y'all was cool. What did you think about that?
I guess I agree. But I gotta run. I
Yeah.
appreciate your call.
Yeah,
Sir.
thank you, man. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
All right. That was CK. What else we got on the table? So no SNAP benefits, or they're about to, in November, no SNAP benefits. And I'm concerned. Jerica sent me that clip a few days ago with the women saying that they was going to be going in the store stealing food and punching people if they got in their way. And of course, I don't encourage that. But what are they going to do? What are they going to do if they don't get that benefit? I want to hear from all of the, because I got a few conservatives, a few of y'all who like, hey, we need to stop. Y'all know who y'all are, the black MAGA and black independents who really are Republicans, and, a few of the rest of y'all. What would y'all suggest that these people do? Because, they kind of doing what y'all really been wanting them to do. It's kind of by default, but they going to be cut off. What do y'all suggest they do? Sean says, go get a job. Come on, Sean. Number one, it's not that easy. It's not that easy. And, okay, let's just say they could have a job, but they just lazy. I'm asking, do we really just as a society say, well, if you don't want to go get a job, then die? Do we as a society say that to people? If you don't want to go get a job, then die. As a society, we will not help you survive. That sound and feel kind of cold-blooded. Sean says, go to a food pantry. Believe me, them food pantries are going to run out quick. They're going to run out quick. Walter say go to a food pantry. A few of y'all saying go to the food pantry. But what the food pantry ain't going to... That stuff ain't... They don't have $8 billion of food at the food pantry. Sean say, we've been helping support them for years. Okay. So Sean apparently feels like, just let them die. Oh, well, just let them die. Darnell say, what about the kids that won't eat? Do they get a job too? I'm sure some people would just say, well, they got to die too. They shouldn't have been born to parents without a job. Ron.
What up, man?
Hey, what's going on?
I'm good, man. I'm good. So when Trump got elected, and first of all, how come you can be an independent, but I can't be an independent?
Well, because I'm honest about my independence. Wait.
What have I not been honest about my independence? What have I done to say that I'm not independent? What have I done to say that? Your brother told you I was registered as an independent. He told you. Why would I?
These are rhetorical questions. Do you want me to answer?
No. Okay. Why now? Your brother just tried to front on me, and he went back down to the board of election, seeing that I wasn't independent. And what thoughts have I given that has not been an independent thinker? I don't agree with everything that Trump does. I say make America great again because I would love America to be the 80s that I grew up in, But that's not true. It's not going to be that, and I'm scared that we're just going to collapse. Period. But I'm an independent. I'm an independent thinker. And I just don't know why you can be an independent and I can't.
Okay, do you want me to answer?
Yeah.
Okay. Because here's what I tell people.
No, what did I what did I do? What did I do? No, you trying to tell me some other stuff. What did I do to make you think I wasn't an independent and I wasn't an independent thinker even after your brother told you I was a registered independent? Why? Why do you keep doing that to me?
Do you want me to answer?
Yeah, but I don't want you to answer some other rhetorical question that you're going to make a statement on. I want you to answer my question. I don't think you can, but I want you to answer my question.
Tell me when I can answer.
Yeah, you can answer now.
Okay.
But answer my question. Don't answer some hypothetical. Don't ask me. Don't give me a rhetorical question and all that other shit. I want you to answer what I asked. Like you said, you know you're going to hang up on people, ain't going to ask, or ain't going to answer the question. Answer the question that I asked, please.
Tell me when you finish. I'll answer.
Mm-mm.
You finished?
Okay, I'm good. Yeah, man, come on.
All right. So,
just answer the question.
okay. So I say I'm an independent, and you know,
No,
Ron,
you're talking about you.
Ron, can I answer the question?
Yeah, but
So
no,
let me answer
about you.
Ron, let me answer the question.
No.
So you don't actually want the answer.
You always spinning that shit.
Wait, so
I don't want you to spin that shit.
So you don't want the answer.
I want you to answer the question.
I'm trying. If you will let me.
Nigga, you talking about you.
Will you allow me to answer the question,
ahead,
sir?
Man, you go ahead.
Okay. So I say I'm an independent, but I lean heavily Democratic. I'm just honest about it.
Okay.
You say you're an independent, but then you tell everybody to vote Republican. You say F the Democrats.
What
do you want me
Republicans?
So you don't want me to answer?
But no, you said I tell everybody to vote Republican, but that's not true.
That is very true.
I said I was a Trump supporter. That's it.
That's not it.
Okay, go ahead.
You didn't say that you won't vote Democrat because what was it? Lyndon Johnson said that he gonna have the ends voting Democratic for the rest of his life. You didn't say that.
I said I would have never voted Democrat. I would have never registered as a Democrat. I would have never put all my eggs in one basket as a Democrat if I would have known that Lyndon B. Johnson said, I will quote, these Negroes are getting too uppity. I will make sure these niggers vote Democrat for the next 200 years. So,
and you said that because of that,
nigga,
you will not vote Democratic.
You ain't answer the question.
You said that.
You ain't answer the question.
Well, you
ain't answer the question.
You won't let me. You keep interrupting.
You keep going on and on and on.
I think I said like 12 words, and then you jump in.
You fake on that shit.
In this conversation, 5, almost 6 minutes long, I think in order to answer your question, I've gotten in like 12 words. That's it. You won't let me get any more.
But you ain't answered the question.
I was clearly answering the question. I was clearly answering the question. You just didn't like the answer.
You answered. You said I made statements that I said what I said. Now, what do you? How come I'm not an independent? How come I'm not an independent? I voted for Democrats. I voted for Democrats.
When?
How come I'm not an independent?
When did you vote for Democrats?
I've always voted for Democrats. The only Republicans I've ever voted for was J.D. Vance, Donald Trump, wait, did I vote for Donald Trump? No, I ain't vote for Donald Trump in his first election. I ain't vote for Donald Trump. I voted for J.D. Vance, Charlie Winburn, and Liz Keating. Those are the only Republicans I ever voted for.
Ron.
Only Republicans.
Ron.
But Ron, what? Ron, what?
You said.
You still answer the question.
I've answered the question. I think
No, you
quite
didn't.
convincingly.
You answered. You answered
Quite convincingly. You said. How many times have you said, F those Democrats? You can't even count it. Now, how many times have you said F Republicans?
Fuck the entire Biden administration, because we're going through all that bullshit because of them. If they didn't allow
Ron.
15 million plus,
Ron.
15 million plus.
Sir,
you said you said that I said fuck Democrats.
You're a fake independent.
Biden
you might be
administration.
registered as independent, but you're very much a Republican or
No,
even
I'm
an
not.
extremist.
You just keep,
even an extremist right wing guy.
You full of shit.
I'm just telling the truth. Don't be mad at me because of who you are.
You full of shit.
Don't.
Nigga, you full of shit. That's what you
mad at me.
on me.
You mad at me because of who you are.
You a liar.
I didn't make you spend all of the election saying F Democrats and Republicans, black people should be voting Republican. I didn't make you do that.
Fuck the entire Biden administration. That woman, we should have had the very first black female president of the United States.
You mad at me?
Don't give me all that shit.
Just so we clear, Ron, you're mad at me because you
I'm not mad
told
at you.
black people that they should be voting Republican.
No, I'm not mad at you, but I think it's really shitty for you to keep calling me something that I'm not.
Well, hold on. Here's the truth. I didn't call you that. I said I have some people who are fake independents but really Republicans. I didn't say no names.
I don't give a fuck about fake independents.
Did I say any names? Ron, did I call your name when I said that?
Listen.
Did I call your name when I said that?
You called me a liar.
Hold on. Did I call your name when I made that statement?
You called me a liar.
No, I didn't. I didn't say anybody's name.
Yeah.
But you knew that you fit into one of those categories. So now you mad at me because you fit into a category.
No.
Don't be mad at me.
Nigga, I ain't mad at you. I just feel like you full of shit, and I don't even understand why you keep doing that shit. Well, I do understand, but, it's a trip. We can't do nothing and get nothing accomplished by, arguing over that type of shit.
I'm not arguing over nothing.
When you full of shit.
You're arguing.
You full of shit.
Okay.
You full of shit.
Again, I didn't say your name. I didn't say your name.
Right
you
now,
just I gave a description, and you
nigga,
recognize you.
Nigga, that passive aggressive shit. Nigga,
ain't nothing passive aggressive about it. I gave a description, and you recognized yourself.
I've been knowing you for 10 years. You called me, nigga. And you called me without calling me. Now, get your ass out of here with that bullshit. Now.
All right.
Now.
Wait, there's a now?
Check this out.
There's more.
Huh?
I said there's
yeah,
more.
Check this. Yeah, check this out. No, for real. Now they've been saying that they gonna cut Medicare since Donald Trump became president. Now, I don't know, but I don't think that they're going to let those SNAP benefits run out. They already had a congressional meeting over it and tried to get the Democrats on to go ahead and sign a temporary bill, and they wouldn't sign it. They going to, quote, unquote, be strong. But I remember Kevin McCarthy signing that because you are correct. The shutdowns have been longer during Trump's administration because the Democrats won't play ball, and right now they playing with those SNAP benefits and everything else. And like Kevin McCarthy lost his speakership because he signed that bill for Biden and the Democrats, and then what's his name? Steve. What's his name? The Speaker of the House. The Speaker of the House, the current Speaker of the House, did the same thing. Signed the bill so that the country wouldn't shut down. And this is the Democrats shutting this shit down. Now, I'm not fighting for Republican or Democrat right now.
You're clearly not. You're just blaming the Democrats for it. But you're not fighting for Republicans.
No, because that's what it is. That's what you won't deal with the facts. You won't deal with the facts.
I'm dealing with the facts.
Those are the facts.
No.
Those are
no. Hold on.
What did I say? What did I say that was wrong?
Ron, here's a fact. The Republicans.
What did I say that was wrong? What did I say that
I'm about to tell you.
Okay, go ahead.
You're saying the Democrats are doing this, but here's the truth.
Shit.
You didn't say that. You didn't say the Democrats are doing this.
The Democrats.
Ron, we can all hear you. We can hear you, bro. You can't say one thing and then just change it out of nowhere.
Just like Kevin McCarthy did that and lost his speakership, and just like the current Speaker of the House did that shit so that Joe Biden's administration wouldn't have that shutdown.
Ron.
Now
you're telling me, Ron. You're telling me you didn't just a few minutes ago say the Democrats are doing this. You didn't say that.
Yes.
All right then. So then let me explain, please. The Republicans can take and move money around to make sure that these SNAP benefits don't end. Am I telling the truth?
They've been doing it.
No, they're not doing
They've
it.
Been doing
they move money around so that the military could get paid.
Wait a minute. And then Terrence lying ass said, and you can verify, Terrence lying ass said that they wasn't going to use money from tariffs to bankroll them checks from the military and everybody else. And they've been working on that shit. This is the thing.
Ron.
This is the thing. The thing.
You every time you get caught, here's your tactic.
What
here's your tactic. Here's your tactic. You say something.
Where did I get caught, nigga?
I'm about to tell you. But you're doing that tactic again. Here's what happens. You say something.
This motherfucker say I'm making stuff up.
You say something.
I
point out what you said, and just before I get ready to prove what you said is wrong, then you start. You get wrapped up. What you're doing right now? Shit this and fuck that and shit this and f that and this. And fuck this and motherfucker this and motherfucker that.
What did I say that was wrong?
You calm down a minute until I start pointing out again what you said wrong. And instead of letting me finish, no, nigga this, no, motherfucker this, no, nigga this, no, nigga, fuck, nigga, shit, nigga, fuck this, nigga, fuck,
nigga, that's the way I talk. That's the way I talk.
But you only talk like that when you're about to be proven wrong.
Okay, prove me wrong.
Okay. Can the Republicans take and move money to make sure that these people still get those SNAP benefits?
Yes.
Are they going to do that?
I don't know.
So if they can do it, why is it the Democrats' fault?
Because the Democrats Only thing they need is 5 Democrats to go ahead and sign the bill in order to keep the SNAP benefits going. And they need 5 Democrats to go ahead and pass the bill. The big beautiful bill was passed, and it was supposed to be cut and dry. Now, what the trip is that you people, some people don't understand.
So it's just so I'm clear. Hold on, just so I'm clear, it's the Democrats' fault that the Republicans won't move money to make sure that those SNAP benefits continue.
It's the fucking government's fault, man.
You said it was the Democrats' fault.
Shit, man. Y'all motherfuckers, man. Fuck that Republican Democrat shit. We need to get.
F that Republican Democrat ass now, but 3 minutes ago it was the Democrats' fault.
Nigga, I mean, you know what you want me to do, man? You want me to sit and fucking argue?
I just want you to be honest and say, I'm a registered independent who really want everybody to vote Republican.
Right, nigga. Oh, yeah, Emanuel King shit. Oh, your Highness. Oh, you are so right. So, nigga, we got a situation here.
Right, that you keep trying to blame on the Democrats.
Motherfucker, fuck the Democrats and Republicans.
Then stop saying it's the Democrats' fault. If you actually feel that way, stop saying it's the Democrats' fault.
It's the Republicans' fault. It's all the Republicans' fault, and they should do whatever they could do to open up the government. Now, can we talk about some solutions?
Well, you just gave us the solution. The Republicans
can we talk about some real shit that's really going on instead of bickering about this shit? That's that bullshit, man.
You're the one that takes this long to just say
you win, nigga.
All right.
You win. Bye.
All right. Why was he? He said he wasn't mad at me. I don't believe he's actually mad at me. But I just told the truth. I have some people on here who say they're independents, but they really Republicans. I didn't say no names. And then he called in because he took that personal. But I didn't put no name on it. It's one of those things where I don't have to. If I say I know an idiot and he's 6'2", 350 pounds, he got dreads or locks or whatever you want to call it, and a full beard. Probably ain't none of y'all gonna be like, why he talking about me? Why he talking about me? Because the description don't fit you. You only gonna, get upset when you fit the description. I got some people who claim they're independents, but they really Democrats. Why you talking about me? How you know I was talking about you? Well, you just described me. Exactly. So now you can't be mad because you recognize you. Don't be mad at me. James.
E-man.
How you doing?
Oh, man, I feel like shit.
Oh, I hate to hear that.
I know, and I don't be around nobody, so I don't know how I got sick.
Walking pneumonia?
I only called to say, huh?
Walking pneumonia? I hear it's going around.
Actually, it is. Actually, it is. For real.
Get a cane, bro. Get a cane.
Please. I only called to say one thing.
All right.
Can you start telling your callers to shut the fuck up and let you complete a thought, please?
Well, here's why I don't do that, James. Because I think it is, like, y'all listening, y'all know when they really only do that when they know they about to get got. And so it is really just like an outward sign to everybody, like, ooh, either I don't have a point or he's making a good point and he's about to prove me wrong, or at least he's about to show me maybe the error of my ways and I don't want to hear it. So I think, I mean, it's a tactic that some people use. And, you know, I'm just okay with him using it because we all recognize what it is.
Now, you see how I never interrupted you?
I do, or I did.
You need to teach these people how to have a conversation. One person speaks, the other person listens. That's why you have two ears. You should listen twice as much as you talk.
I don't agree with that.
It is starting to get irritating that these people talk over you. They ask you a question and won't allow you to finish a thought. And I understand that you're being a gracious host. But sometimes, and I understand you don't cuss, but sometimes you just need to say, shut the fuck up and allow me to finish my thought, because I've given you the chance to finish your whatever.
Well, here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to do, James, for you and all the people who, see, right now I'm using an actual mixing console that's created, like, you know, to mix music and all of that kind of stuff. I'm going to, when I get some money, I mean, I got to get a job first. I'm going to get a little piece of equipment that will allow me to mute people so that when I talk, I'm the only one talking if they won't stop talking over me. I'm going to do that.
I doubt if it helps, but I don't know, man. It's just, they do it so much now that it's just ridiculous. And FYI, I believe Ron Dula is lying about being attacked, period. I've heard 3 different versions to his experience. He's told you one version. He's told Wyatt one. He's told Mr. Ware one. I just don't buy it. Now, I did at first, but when I kept hearing them, it sounds shady as hell. So I don't really, and I know it's going to piss him off, and I'm probably saying it just to piss his ass off. Because I didn't like the fact that, damn, dude, you answered his question. Well, you tried to. And he's still saying, answer the fucking question. Answer the fucking question. Bruh, shut the fuck up so I can answer your question. Now, you ain't going to like my answer, but at least give me an opportunity to answer the question.
Well, let me say, I take that brother's word for it that he was physically assaulted, and I hope,
Yeah, he got knocked out by. Oh, I'm sorry.
And I hope that he's doing better now, and I hope that he gets a resolution from it.
I do too. Well, and I almost got caught up just now interrupting you, and I'm glad I stopped myself. And I want to tell you one other thing. You know, the worst thing about being sick, man, is when you by yourself.
The worst thing about being what?
Oh. The worst thing about being sick is when you live by your.
Oh, okay. You said sick. I thought you were saying thick.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah, but you were saying sick. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
That's all right.
It's crazy, man. But that's all. I was at home. I didn't plan on calling in, but I was just sitting here like, dude, would you shut up and let him talk? And it kept going on and on. And normally I can just, like, get past it. But today, somehow, I couldn't. I was just like, oh, man. You need to tell this dude, please, start saying shut the fuck up.
Well, I hope you feel better soon. If it's walking pneumonia, I didn't know that was a cure, but apparently a cane will cure walking pneumonia. Try it.
No.
What's the worst that could happen?
Okay. this is something that is, and I only know this because this is what my parents told me. So when I was 5 years old, for like a 6-month span, I got walking pneumonia down there every month.
Oh.
Prior to that, I did not have a speech impediment.
Oh.
Isn't that crazy?
That is.
Afterwards, I had a speech impediment. They didn't know what was happening. You know, it was back in the 60s. So, you know, nobody kind of understood that shit. They took me to a doctor, and the doctor told my mom, it sounds like he's scared of his father. My mom stared at him and was like, no, he's not scared of his dad. His dad is mean, but he's not scared of his dad. And they prepared this report. It's like a 5-page. I still have it. Some of the stuff they wrote in there was so racist. Oh my God, man. You wouldn't believe it. Dude told my mother I would never be able to. He said I would never be able to excel in school due to that. Bruh, I was a straight A student. That's the funny part. So it's crazy, man. I always fear getting walking pneumonia because you never know what happens after. And now that I'm 60, man, getting walking pneumonia is like, oh boy, it's hard. It's rough on you.
I'd imagine.
But that's all I have, man. I'm done. I mean,
right.
But please, you don't have to say shut the fuck up. But kind of like, you know what I mean? Please, say something.
All right.
All right, man, I'm out.
James, I appreciate your call. All right. Let's see. Oh, I had something else that I wanted to discuss. This didn't happen here, but I was reading this story about a woman in Indianapolis who shot a young man. I think he was like 21. I think she was only like 22 or 23. But she was stopped at a green light. And you know how sometimes, or she was stopped at a red light, light turned green. And sometimes people ain't paying no attention. So the young man behind blew at her to let go. Apparently she followed that man and shot and killed him because he blew at her at a green light. I only bring the story up to remind everybody, hey, be careful out there. Because people are wild. You never know how people are going to react. If you're behind somebody and they won't go, give the friendly beep, not the I'm annoyed beep. I know it sounds crazy. The friendly beep, you know, beep. That's the friendly beep. Just beep. Let them know. Get their attention. You don't, that make people mad. Just try to do everything that you can to, you know, be safe out there in them streets. Because people are crazy out here. I got that story off of Fox 19. It's a very recent story. And, yeah, just be... Princess Flower said, I saw her in court. She's crazy. Yeah, there's crazy people out there with cars and guns. So just be careful. Be careful. Nate.
Good evening, Mr. Livingston.
Good evening, sir.
I wanted to chime in and talk about how you know if you're a independent or a black MAGA Republican. Okay, I just got a few points because I'm with the last caller. I didn't catch his name, but at some point it is, and I get it. At some point it is disrespectful, and it is tiring, and it's hard to listen to. I got out the car to go have my chainsaw looked at and came back, and Ron was still on the phone hollering and screaming and cussing and just being real disrespectful. I also wanted to chop it up with you about Lincoln Ware and why I disagree with whether or not that show was a good one today.
Okay.
But first, let me start, if you don't mind, let me start with this whole we're independents. We're independents. If you spent 20 years complaining about the crime bill, and Ron claims he voted for Hillary over Trump, they keep changing it up. But you spent 20 years complaining about Bill Clinton, the crime bill, and even Hillary, who was the first lady when the crime bill got passed into law by the Congress and signed by Bill Clinton. But they put that on Hillary. If you spent 20 years complaining about the crime bill because you say it hurt black people and they was targeting black people, but when they send the military into Washington, D.C., Chocolate City, when they send the military into Los Angeles, Chocolate City, when they send the military into Chicago, Chocolate City, and target black people, and you ain't saying nothing. If you could spend 20 years complaining about the crime bill, but you ain't saying nothing about the military, or like Marquetta Denise actually cheering it on. She said she was glad that they were sending the military in there to crack some heads on some black people and to arrest them. And I'm sure you probably saw that video like I did when they was in Washington. They was actually thought they was busting people smoking weed sitting on they steps to their house. So that's number one. If you spent the last 4 years complaining about immigrants, and I heard Ron say that again, it's 15 million immigrants in here illegally. But all of a sudden, you know, that's part of the problem. Why they going so wild, because they done told people it's 15 million. They should be easy to find these 15 million. Ain't no 15 million illegal immigrants. They having a hard time finding the people who is here illegally. And so they can't go back and tell their people, we lied to y'all, we tricked y'all, we hyped y'all up, we got y'all scared. So what they doing now, I can see through it already. What they doing now is they saying, well, we got to get Steve Miller and them saying we got to get, I think it's either 3,000 per day or 5,000 per day, some number that they can't reach. And so they go back to Trump, and Trump's saying, y'all told me it was 15 million immigrants. And Trump actually said at one time, I heard he said 25 million. So now they got to explain to Trump, well, how come y'all can't round these millions and millions of immigrants that were out here raping and murdering and committing all these crimes? Why y'all can't find them? The truth is because they were never here. Now, I can foresee the future on this one. In the end, what they're going to say is, whatever they round up, they're going to say, we got them. Then they're going to say, but the rest of them self-deported. The reason we can't show you the 15 million is 7 or 8 or 9 million of them self-deported. But if you spent the last 4 years during the Biden years complaining about immigrants taking our money, taking our jobs, and getting set up to vote, they brought them here because they're going to vote. But you ain't saying nothing about plane loads of whites only, Afrikaners, being imported into the country. We paying for the planes. We paying for them to be resettled here. We're treating them as immigrants. We're setting them up to be voters who can cancel out the votes of Democrats and of black people. If you complained about the immigrants because they took our money, they took our jobs, and they was about to cancel out our votes. But you ain't saying nothing about the plane loads of white Afrikaners from apartheid South Africa. You're not an independent. You're a black MAGA. If you complain about America sending all this money overseas to Ukraine and to Israel, but you ain't saying nothing about the billions still going to Israel and about 40 million, 20 million in cash and 20 million that they done rounded up from these corporations going to Argentina. If you complained about Biden not being on the America First agenda, but you ain't saying nothing about billions and billions of American taxpayer dollars going to these foreign countries, you're not an independent. You're black MAGA. You're a Trumpster. So that's why if you complained about how Biden and them didn't do nothing specifically for black people, and yet here are millions of black people who are about to lose their SNAP benefits. We got millions of black people who are on Section 8 housing, who are getting letters in the mail saying, hey, guess what? You only had 2 years, so if you've been in here 2 years, you got to go find somewhere else to live. And if you can't find nowhere without government subsidies, guess what? You're gonna be in the homeless shelters. If you complained about that, but now you say we shouldn't point the fingers, we shouldn't place blame. We've got to quit complaining. We've got to come up with solutions. But you ain't saying nothing about tangibles. You ain't saying, that was the key word, tangibles. You ain't saying nothing about black specific policies and money. You're not an independent. You're black MAGA.
And it's just like when they used to, where I guess they still do, or they'll go back to doing it, when they go to talking about how black people shouldn't vote for Democrats because Democrats don't do nothing for black people, and you ask them what Republicans do for black people, they say, well, that don't matter. They gonna keep that up. And they want to try to trick us into believing we not Republicans. We just can't see nothing wrong with what the Republican Party do. We won't criticize even the stuff that they do that we don't like. And any problems that arise, we're going to blame it on Democrats. But we're not Republicans. We're independents. Like, ain't nobody falling for that.
Right. The Democrats in 1965, after Selma, what happened on the bridge down there in Selma, and some other stuff, was able to get the Democrats to pass the Voting Rights Act. And a Democratic president signed it into law. After that Voting Rights Act went into effect, we saw a surge of black people going to Congress. Donald Trump and this Republican Party are trying to roll that back. They're in the Supreme Court arguing against it right now.
Yes,
They've already cut down some of the provisions of the Voting Rights Act.
Mm-hmm.
If you claim that black Democrats ain't never did nothing for us, but you ain't saying nothing about the stuff that they did do for us and it did have some impact. If you ain't saying nothing about these moves, you're not an independent. You're black MAGA. So
All
I
right,
just
but
think
what was the next subject you wanted to talk about?
Lincoln Ware.
Okay.
So let me give you my take on it. Because, I've been following Lincoln since before he was in the buzz, and it might have been before you was into the talk radio thing. Maybe not. So here's how I look at it. Lincoln, over the years, when I might have told you this, I feel like I told you this maybe off the air. One of the classes that I studied when I was studying communication, I studied communication, and I also studied paralegal. We call it legal assisting technology at the time, we called it. But so I would take classes in communication classes, and I would also take paralegal classes. And one of the best classes that I had over there at UC was about presidential communication. And it traced back how as communication techniques changed, how successful presidents changed with them. So, we didn't always have radio, of course, in George Washington days. But when the newspapers became a thing, then some presidents were able to use. I shouldn't say we didn't have newspapers. What am I? We didn't have radio. We didn't have. So when radio came as a method of mass communication, successful presidents realized that we got to figure out how to utilize to our benefit. Okay. And so I don't know if Trump got rid of it or if it's still going on. Once a week, they have a presidential address to the nation. That wasn't always there. And they used to air it, I believe, on 700 in Cincinnati. So anyway, let me get back to Lincoln. So successful presidents utilize new communication technology and mechanisms. So whether it's the telegraph or the train whistle stop tours, or whether it was the radio, whether it was TV, whether it was TV debates, whatever it was, and Trump, to his credit, Trump figured out something that Gavin Newsom is kind of getting it, but none of the rest of them, Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, them, they didn't understand how important and impactful it is for a president to be able to circumvent the mainstream media and communicate directly with the people through Twitter, and now he got his own social media site. Okay. So I say all that to say, when I look at Lincoln, one of the reasons why I really like him, besides the fact that he's an entertaining fella, I think, he ain't technical. He ain't giving you no college course, He
ain't smart.
But it ain't necessarily. I know some people used to joke, and I used to be part of it. Like, is Lincoln Show really a coffee club? But it's kind of like it's a mix of a lot of stuff. So I've watched Lincoln as he when fax machines was kind of an in thing, how Lincoln would go and let people communicate directly with him, bypass standing in the line for the callers. How he would let people send a fax machine. Send a fax, and then if he liked it, he would read it. So at one point in time, he used to get a lot of faxes. Then with text messages became a thing.
Hold on, let me correct you. He never got a lot of faxes.
Well, okay.
He got a few.
But you get my point. When text messages became a thing, I think either he said it or you said it. At one point in time, Radio 1 was utilizing fax numbers, and I think the buzz out of all the stations was like the top receiver. They were the top utilizer of that technology.
Yes. I
remember when Lincoln he didn't just have the mayor come in. He would have somebody from City Hall come in. This might have been back in the WCIN days. They would bring city cable over there. I remember when Lincoln Ware was on C-SPAN.
Lincoln and Jay.
He was talking,
Lincoln Ware and Jay Love.
And Jay Love on C-SPAN. I believe at one point in time they were talking about getting Lincoln to do something before Sister Speak got their syndicated show, with him doing something with WAOL out of Washington, D.C. And so the point is...
Do you know why that never happened?
I don't know, but...
Okay.
Do you want to tell us? Do you think it would add to... Why not? Why not?
Because he wasn't good. And they didn't want to put that bullshit on their air. They wanted somebody who could bring up topics and talk about them in an engaging way, and whose show wasn't totally reliant on callers. They wanted somebody that could carry a show for more than an hour without a call. And he can't do it.
But what he can do is what he did today. And so,
that was terrible.
Well, let me just wrap that whole thing I was trying to make. So whether it's the fax machines, text messages, city cable, C-SPAN, or now Facebook, which I don't know why he tried for a while the Instagram. I don't think he ever tried the YouTube. But what I'm saying is, radio is really old school media. But he somehow has a way of, maybe it's because of necessity, or maybe not, he somehow, because I think you might say, well, let me just ask the question. Do you think that he sort of uses Facebook sort of sometimes as a crutch? You know, he reads the comments and during the break, and then he reads them back, sometimes on the air. Some people might look at that and say,
see, I wouldn't necessarily say that's a crutch. Like, I mean, it's there, but but go ahead. No, I wouldn't necessarily say that's a crutch. It could be, but I wouldn't necessarily say that it is.
well, I wouldn't either. I think he incorporates different stuff into the show, and I think he could take the show to the next level. You know, I think if I was there, I would be trying to get into, take it to YouTube, take it to Instagram. You know, I would be trying to get into, what about, since you're on Facebook, what about tuning in getting a video call, maybe once a show. And I thought that it was smart to say, well, I'm limited on the phones. I can't get incoming calls unless people know the hotline. So I'm going to make outgoing calls. I thought that was smart, and I think it worked too. Now, you might say, well, it allowed him to be lazy. But
that's exactly what it was.
Overall, it still worked.
You believe it worked. I don't. But let me ask you a question.
Well, can I think the show was better with him picking who got the call versus the random. Let me take them in the order that they call. We didn't hear no long history lesson from Pharaoh that didn't do none of us no good in our daily lives, that didn't advance us at all. We didn't hear none of them religious conversations that are sometimes entertaining, sometimes enlightening, sometimes educational.
Nate.
Yes.
We heard 10 minutes of Lady C talking about trying to get some D.
Well, you need, just like a good newspaper needs comics, why not have a Lady C, Did Miss Nettie call today? I can't remember. Did he call Miss Nettie?
I didn't hear him call Miss Nettie. I didn't get a chance to listen to the whole show. Because, I had other stuff to do.
Remember. I didn't get to listen to the whole show either, but I think it's sometimes I go back and forth. I be like, why do Miss Nettie call in here with the church announcements and the obituaries but it makes the show, more well-rounded.
It makes it something. I'll give you that. But, okay, now can I ask my question of you?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
You worked at the Buzz, right?
And you won't have to tell me to shut the fuck up.
You worked at the Buzz, right?
Yes, sir, I did.
And I remember working your boards, and I'm asking you, do you remember this? The phone lines was down, and you had to do an entire show and not take calls. Do you remember that?
Absolutely.
Were you able to do an entire show without taking calls?
Yeah.
How?
Okay, well, let me just preface, because I feel like you're trying to pull me into something.
No, I'm just asking
that
you,
I don't want to do.
How were you able to do a whole show without taking a single call? How?
I did a much different show than Lincoln does.
I didn't ask you about Lincoln. We're not talking about Lincoln. We're talking about you.
But
How were you able to do a whole show without taking calls?
I'm going to give you a direct answer, but I got to preface it with this. Some people didn't like my show. Some knuckleheads, some goofballs. But some people don't like Lincoln's show. Some people didn't like my show.
Why do you keep bringing up Lincoln? We're not talking about Lincoln right now.
Because I wanted to preface that to say my show, I spent hours before my show doing research. We called it show prep.
Right.
I spent hours doing show prep.
Yes.
Now, in his defense, and
why are we talking about him? We're not talking about him yet.
Okay.
I'm just asking, how did you manage to do that?
The answer is I spent hours every day before the show doing show prep, which consisted of newspaper articles from really all over the country, reading them, highlighting them, taking notes. If it was some question that I didn't have, I would go do some independent research. You know what I'm saying? And so I was always prepared. If I had an hour show, I probably had 3 or 4 hours of show preparation.
Okay.
I also am different than Lincoln in this sense.
I don't know why you keep bringing up Lincoln.
I got the gift of gab, so I can talk about a particular topic, and I can, I can add layers to the conversation. And so that's my answer: show preparation, and then the gift of gab.
And you're a smart guy. You don't have to say it. I'm saying it. You're a smart guy. Why is it that you think that Lincoln does not have the ability, because he truly doesn't have the ability, to do even 1 hour without calls?
Well, let me answer that question by asking you a question.
Okay.
Do you also remember something happened where Jonathan Love, do you think that Jay did a good show?
Yes.
Do you think that Jay Love was an intelligent guy?
Yes.
I remember Jay Love had a situation where he couldn't take phone calls. And Jay Love went and got, if I'm remembering it right, he went and got some people to come back him up. It was almost like he didn't want to face that time on the radio without sort of leaning on some people.
Okay.
Now, could he have done the show? I think he could have. He just he didn't want to do it. He wasn't built like that.
Well, I'm not
and
sure.
He might not have done as much show prep as some of the rest of us.
Yeah, I'm
too.
not sure that he could have at that point. But let me ask you another question just in reference to that question.
Well, I do want to answer the question about Lincoln.
Okay, but this one is real quick. How many years at that point had Jay Love been doing talk radio?
Oh, probably not that many.
Maybe one?
Yeah, maybe so. I mean, he had done some stuff on Straight Talk, and but that was.
But he had about a year, a year, in doing talk radio at that time,
doing
right?
talk radio. Yeah. Okay.
I think that's
probably right.
And last question, I'm gonna let you answer. What is greater, 1 or 75? Which number is greater?
Well, 75 is greater than 1.
Okay.
But of course, Lincoln has not been in radio for 75. Not that you mentioned his name. I'm just want to make that clear.
Okay.
So I think the question was, why couldn't Lincoln have done the show
Why does he not possess the ability to do that?
Well, I think because I heard you say earlier, I think you said he had, I didn't hear this part of the show. I think you said he had 3 hours.
3 hours.
To get prepared.
Yes.
If you do a show every day and your show prep, it consists of you coming up with, I think he usually comes up with about 5. I'm maybe being a little generous. I think he usually comes up with about 5 headlines. And Lincoln's style is sort of to read the headline and maybe read the first paragraph. Not the whole first paragraph, but the highlights out of the first paragraph. He just gives you sort of the top, and then if you want to pick up on that and add to it and discuss it, then cool. But usually after he do his things, unless it's a really hot topic, nobody comes back to the stuff that he starts the show with. And he doesn't force them. It's sort of like open lines every day. And so I think if you're used to preparing in a certain way, you would think, man, I can't do, let's say if we just did about in numbers, if you're used to getting 5 stories to talk about and you got a 3-hour show where you really ought to have 25 stories, you gonna think, man, I don't need all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? I got Terrence, we gonna chop it up, you know what I'm saying? We gonna talk about these stories, we gonna elaborate on them, we gonna dissect them, and then what happens is you maybe don't get no extra stories or not enough, and then you're like, man, this is, you know, because how long did he go before he made the first call? Well, 45 minutes?
If that.
So,
but again, he did
which
lean
is about
really.
30 more minutes more than what he would usually go, right?
Yeah, he leaned really heavily on Terrence, which, you know, I'm getting for him. That's why I said Terrence should get a bonus, a raise, a promotion, and, you know, box of cookies, you know, something. But he leaned really heavily on Terrence. And again, my point, look, some of y'all liked it. All right? It was bad. It showed his ineptitude, is that the word? As a talk show host. It showed his inability to think. Just think like normal people do.
Let me run.
Go ahead.
Let me run one more thing by you. If you're used to a phrase we use, a term or a phrase we used to use when I was at the Buzz is a show that's heavily dependent on callers, caller-driven show.
Yes.
If you're used to doing a call, and in fact, if you remember, and people don't know who weren't there, they used to, Ross Love and Cheryl Love, the owners, and Steve Love, every now and then would come on my show and say, you haven't taken any calls. You've been talking about these topics for 30 minutes or whatever. Take some calls. Certain people view talk radio as dependent on callers. And if you've been doing it for the last 10, 15, 20 years, you've got a caller-driven show. If they cut the calls, do we say that means you're bad because you're so used to having a caller-driven show? I mean, I don't know if that's is that
I think
fair?
a lot of times what happens is you develop a caller-driven show because you can't do it. You don't have the ability, the intellectual ability, the research ability to do it on your own. So then, yes, I'm going to use calls as a crutch because without the calls, I got nothing. I can't read a story and pick a topic even out of a story. All I can do is read the headline and say, so there you have it. And that's it. And that's my commentary. There you have it. And if you're a person who can't think because you're not smart and barely literate, it's gonna be difficult.
E-Man, look, yes. Maybe he sees it as, okay, put yourself in the position of a person who calls the radio.
All right. I've been that guy.
Would you prefer the 700 approach, which is to do a lot of talking and take very few calls, or would you prefer the Lincoln Ware model where he does a little talking, y'all get some back and forth while you're on the line, and he takes way more calls than the 700? Putting yourself in the position of the caller.
Well, it all depends, because the benefit that I always saw, and I'm going to call it the 700 model, is it's more structured. So if I call, they're talking about what I'm talking about. And when they decide to take calls, if I'm still there in the queue, boom, I'm talking about what I'm talking about. In this other model, I call, and by the time he get to me, somebody done called in to talk about how dry their coochie is. Somebody done called in to talk about
That lady ain't never said that.
a ghost stealing their money. Somebody done called in to talk about just how beautiful Lincoln Heights is. Somebody done called in to talk about, and damn, by the time I get on, we not even talking about what you was actually talking about, which might have been something of substance, because all I got some guy talking about how, he was in a gang. You know what I'm saying? It's just always something that's got nothing to do with nothing. So yeah, it all depends.
Yeah. Well, I think Mr. Ware, being the man that he is, a DJ at heart, I think he wants to please the listeners as well as the callers. I think he has a great respect for the callers, and so he don't want them to be on hold as long as they are on hold on 700. So I think that kind of goes into that whole. And again, our former owners, they sort of took that position too. Like, Good Talk Radio should have a whole bunch of different callers. You shouldn't keep the callers on hold too long. You should get them in, work them in. And so I don't know that it's fair to say that he couldn't do the other type of show.
Nate,
I just think...
Nate, I
yes,
would
sir.
bet your house, your children, your grandchildren, and anything else you can think of that
I would never bet them.
That he can't do it. Because he can't. It's just the truth. He can't.
Well,
did you when the phones went out, did you ever consider, hey, let me open up my phone and call some of my friends?
No.
Okay.
No. But what would you think if he made that a regular part of the show? You would
only get the same few people over and over again. It would be the same. See, y'all saying it was good today because it was those few people. But just think about it. If literally every day it was who came in? Sister V, Joyce, Iris, Tiara, Lady C, Whitehead. That's all I can remember. But those were the callers every day. And the only callers every day. Would y'all still be like, this is great?
No. I'm not saying every day and them the only callers. I'm saying, what if he incorporated that? Like once a week, we're going to do call out. It's call out Wednesday. Like Al Sharpton always had these days for his shows. It's call out Wednesday. Today, I got somebody in line that I'm calling. So be ready, all my friends and family members, because you might get that call, and be prepared to go on the air. I could see that being a normal part of the show, doing it once a week.
I could see him making that a normal part of the show, too. I sure could. Yeah.
Well, that's why I thought it was maybe good.
Okay.
And then the callers didn't the people who actually took the call and went on the air, I don't think they disappointed. I can't think of nobody who was boring, even though I don't like her personally. I mean, I get a laugh out of listening to Yvonne Collins from Norwood sometimes, and especially considering he was looking for callers. I think she was a good time filler, So anyway, that was it. But
All right.
to my original point, you people out there calling yourselves independents, you've been radicalized. You are not independents. If you only criticize Democrats, you only call for people to not vote for Democrats, you are a MAGA Republican, including people who wasted their vote on a third-party clown who had no chance of winning like Jill Stein. Talk to you later.
All right. All right. Yeah, we disagree. And that's okay. And that's okay. Janice says, I think we're in territory that we don't need to linger in. It could be your opinion. You got a right to that opinion. I mean, I know you love Lincoln. So, and you think he's smart, which you my favorite, but that kind of bothers me that you think he's smart. It makes me wonder about what your standards of smart are. But okay. But I got a trick for his ass. We gotta wait and see what happens. Tell y'all gonna say I went too far. Man, I don't think it's no such thing. Brent.
Hey man, what's going on?
Hey, how you doing?
To be honest, I've had some good days and some hills to climb. But when I look around and I think things over, some of my good days, well, all of my good days outweigh my bad days. And I won't complain. So it's all good. There's your Deuteronomy 28 for today.
Oh, all right.
But yeah, I wanted to call in mainly because James from Vancouver or Washington, he called in and he had a cold, and as you can clearly hear, I do not have a cold. I don't know any cold medicine that works in 30 minutes. I do not live alone. I live with my wife and my son. Well, one of my sons, and I don't have a stutter, even though I fumble my words from time to time, but that's just because I'm not a talker like them Livingstons. So
I hate them Livingstons. I hate them.
We got to find it. We got to put out an ATV. Maybe we can get Cecil Thomas on a bicycle with his camera or the cell phone so we can find them and report them. But yeah, and maybe we can help out James and everything because he could have pink eye. So we need to find out if he actually bought one of them pink. Well, it was part of the Lincoln Wear Walking Club. And in fact, everyone who had those shirts need to check to make sure they don't have pink eye.
I thought they were orange. When I saw it, he wore one on camera. It definitely looked orange to me. So maybe I need to get my eyes checked.
Depending on what was the background picture on the monitor, which I don't understand why they just don't turn down the brightness on it. That would help, and you could still see everything clearly, even though you can't read anything. But oh well. But yeah, but he may also have German measles. So has he been around Queen Noble? Because she likes her Germans, and Germans give you German measles. So he may want to check that out.
The man say he got walking pneumonia, like Twin had.
That still is just, oh my goodness. I don't know if he was playing or not, but there was no reason for him to have a cane with walking pneumonia. Would not even having walking pneumonia, just thinking he had walking pneumonia, and he probably doesn't know the symptoms of walking pneumonia.
It's reasonable. You got walking pneumonia, you get a cane. That's reasonable.
Oh my goodness. Just like you get whooping cough, you get Terrence to play the organ behind you. So every 3 words you say, you pause and you hear the organ, then you say another 3 words and pause, and then you take it up a little higher. And no, I don't think that's how that works. But with Ron, maybe we can. We still have to find that teenage white girl and the black kids. If all of them jumped them and stomped them with Nauticas and Nikes and whatever else they had on, they should be brought to justice too. But we know his disdain for Democrats, even though he's in and he claims to be an independent. He never has any disdain for Republicans. But Corey Bowman is running for mayor. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay, and Corey Bowman is a Republican.
Yes.
And he regularly has the police that come by his coffee shop. And I wouldn't doubt that one of the people that comes by his coffee shop is the FOP president. So in order to make AFTAB look even worse, because they're trying to blame everything that's happened there, from the brawl to everything else, really trying to tie it all back to AFTAB. Wouldn't it be even worse if AFTAB, they can say AFTAB is totally buried, Ron Dula's story, and look, we found, they can find some, white girl anywhere, white teenage girl, they all around. Some of the ones that they cast out, like the KKK Craigs, that they, yeah, he's white, but they don't include him with the real white folks, type of deal. So that maybe that can be his avenue, instead of trying to, instead of yelling at Scotty at city council meetings, go to the FOP president. I'm sure he has a little bit of weight with the rank and file, including some of the black members of the police force that, could talk to him and get more details and actually find out what happened and find the video that may or may not be there. So,
believe it or not, that might be maybe not exactly what you said, but if he lets them know, well, no, I was going to say if he lets them know that he was a black Trump supporter, and they might then push for his issue. But the reason I dismissed that is because they don't give a damn about them black Trump supporters, so that wouldn't really be helpful.
Yeah, and with that, there are levels to their coonery, but there is a hard ceiling. So no matter how much, because Officer Tatum, he was one of the first ones out there and everything, and I saw a video where he was bellyaching that he didn't get invited to Charlie Kirk's memorial, which I'm like, oh my goodness. In fact, I don't think they had any black people up on stage, memorializing him. And, he would say that if he was at a funeral of his sons and everything, he wouldn't cry because he had to be strong, for his wife and everything. But when he was talking about the death of Charlie Kirk, he had to hold back tears and his voice was cracking and everything else. So you won't cry for the loss of your own flesh and blood, but you will cry for a racist who didn't give a damn about you, who was willing to use you, but would never accept you. I don't understand that mindset, and that's why you need to keep on calling Dr. Chantel Thomas so she can give us some learned insight on that mindset. Because I know there's a term for it, whether it's Stockholm syndrome or maybe we call it Jerome syndrome, when it's black folks, loving up on white folks, even though the white folks really don't love them. They just like to use them and like to laugh at them. But I don't know. But did I have something else here? Oh, briefly on the wrestling report, LaDonna. Did we talk about the last pay-per-view where you had a trios match between two all-black teams? Did we talk about that?
You did. You mentioned that, yes.
Okay. So I won't go back to that. But all I'll say is that they are continuing their feud, which is good, and that's good. That they are actually giving black folks a platform and actually allowing them to battle back and forth. And in the end, I think both sets of teams, both factions will come out even better to have even main event matches and everything. And we talked about 12 belts Monet. I don't even know her real name. Yeah, Mercedes Monet. We talked about that, right?
I don't know that we did.
Okay. Well, she won her 12th belt. So she's been going from Japan to all these different independents, winning belts, and beating the record of Ultimo Dragon, who had, I think it was 10 belts when he was around Japan and all the juniors and everything. So, they're putting her on that level, even though there's some haters and everything.
There are
but that's the only way you get
some
those.
haters.
Yeah, but that's the only way you can get that many belts is to be able to go out to these independents and win their belts.
Right.
But a lot of think that if it's not the WWE belt, it's it's not legitimate, which that is totally false. You can make a great career out there on the independents, take care of your family, be home when you want to be home, and not being forced to go to Saudi Arabia when you really don't want to be over there. And, so. But C-SPAN, one last thing with the C-SPAN. I remember that, I found it it was still out there on the C-SPAN site, and I put it on the Friends page and broke it up into 2 pieces and everything. And it was a good dynamic between Lincoln and J Love, and I really enjoyed J Love's show. He was hilarious, and mixing your dynamic in there, but he would actually break down or wouldn't let callers just get off a soliloquy without interjecting and slowing them down and trying to make their comments make sense, much like what you did. I don't know if you picked that up from him or you've always done that, but whatever the case, it was good. And his declaring, I don't know what year it was, the year of the religious crackhead was was absolutely hilarious, because it seems like every year is the year of the religious crackhead. But that's all I really got.
All right.
Other than Jasmine Crockett, she may run for Senate against John Cornyn, not Rafael Eduardo Cruz, or people know him as Ted Cruz. But she'd have a tough job on the Democrat side with I can't think of the white guy who is really good getting through that, and then energizing enough of the black people to come out and vote, because with the black and brown people, because there are enough numbers to do it, but you have to be energized.
Yeah,
and if
you gotta get them out.
And if the National Democratic Party does not pump money into her campaign, she's doomed to lose. And sadly, that's what they done in a lot of these red states. They will not put the money in it. They'll put him in blue states, which they could have won some of these seats, but they didn't put the money in it. Possibly the same reason that when Nancy Pelosi was House Speaker, she would never go on Roland Martin's show, which she would have got her largest black audience. She'd always go around the area, and she would get other Congress people in there, congressmen and women in there, and he would always say, "Hey, you see Nancy Pelosi? Tell her to holler at me. Tell her to come on." And she never would, and even now that she's out of power, she still hasn't. So a lot of those Democrats, they are of the old guard, and the black folks are useful tools. Really no different than the Republicans, except that you can get more done politically for black people with the Democrats, because the Republicans sure in the hell doesn't have a black agenda other than firing 300,000 black women in the federal government and stripping all black funds from HBCUs and doing everything they can to erase and rewrite black people from existence. But take it back to the 50s. That's what they really want. That's what Make America Great Again.
Yep.
They want to go back to the 50s, not the 80s, Ron. They want to go back to the 50s. But that's it.
All right.
That's all I got. All right. You have a great weekend.
You do the same.
Bye.
Appreciate your call. All right. That was Brent. Why is Sierra a hater? Talking about it. Do Brent sound like, or did Brent become Nate or something she said? Hater. You're going to criticize me for not changing the name on the screen, but say that bullshit that happened earlier was a good show. Stop it. All right, y'all, I got to get out of here. I got to get ready to get out of here. I had a couple more things that I wanted to discuss. I let people get me off track. Got a call coming in. We'll take this call. Caller.
What up?
What's up?
Oh, none. I got 2 phones now. I want to see if I can hear myself and see what you're talking about, but the other one cut off. So, what's going on with you, man? I just called to talk some smack.
Not much. Who is this? What's your name?
This is Ron, man. Ron Dixon, man.
Oh, okay. Not much, man. What's up with you?
Well, I'm putting this cap on this thing right now from the blaze up. And I want to know what Lincoln said about your wife, man.
He didn't say anything about her. He waited until he saw her alone at an event, and then he confronted her about me.
Really?
Yes.
That's some whole shit. Now, if you'd have did that to his wife, he'd have been probably had somebody at your door or something. That ain't right.
I wouldn't have done that. I would never do that.
Nah, you don't do nothing like that, man. That's out of pocket. I didn't know he was like that. I really don't like the cat.
And if y'all don't believe me, ask him.
I believe you. I believe you. I think he an arrogant little Charlie Brown looking ass. It's something about him, man. It's just something about him. You know, I love my peoples, but it's just some cats, you know. It's informational, it sure is, but he love the police too much for me.
Well.
And I know he get DUIs because he always drinking. If he drink as much as that, I know you got to be dizzy all the time.
Well, I mean, I could say a lot of bad stuff about him, and I guess some people would say that I have, but everything I said is true. But
I ain't heard you say nothing about him.
I'm just saying, you know, that was out of line, and I will deal with it. And everybody's gonna say I went too far, but oh well.
No. You ain't going too far. You ain't had no right approaching your wife. That ain't your girlfriend. That's your wife. And whatever he had to say, he could have told you. Big head motherfucker.
He wouldn't say it.
You know what I'm saying?
He wouldn't. But okay.
That's all. I ain't really got nothing to talk about. It's the weekend. I'm finna put up the rest of the plastic on the windows. And
you about to put the rest of the what?
Put plastic on the windows. I stay on the first floor, bruh. It's cold.
Oh, you mean like where you tape the stuff and then you use the blow dryer and then boom, boom, and it be
airtight? I don't use no blow dryer, bruh. I go grab that paint, plastic, that thick stuff. I ain't got to look outside. If I want to look out, I'll open the door. You know what I'm saying? Put that up real tight.
Okay.
Real.
I'm just laughing. I've done it before. And so I know what you're talking about. Like you said, that paint and plastic be you can't see through it. So you gotta open it. So I was laughing because I had a flashback to when I did it. So that was it.
Yeah, and they better call when they come over. Because you ain't finna cut no hole in that plastic. You know what I'm saying? So all that stuff there. But that's what I'm finna do, and wash these work clothes and put the summer clothes up. The chili already made, so I'm gonna sit on in the house. Use these space heaters.
You said chili. Oh, what kind of chili?
I made chili with chili, beans, and spaghetti, and black beans, red beans and black beans.
Is this the Cincinnati style chili?
Nah, this mine, Ronnie chili.
Okay. Ain't no chocolate or no cinnamon or none of that.
Nah. Black beans.
Well, you can put black beans in Cincinnati style chili too. Just.
Oh nah, I use the hi-yi-yi sauce. The shit that come in the green and white pack. I don't know the name. I always call it hi-yi-yi. They know what I'm talking about.
I know what
you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about. I don't know why you calling it that, but I know what you're talking about.
Every time I look at that pack, it says something to me. Now that's what I call that shit.
All right.
Yeah. But that's what I'm doing tonight. And y'all have a good weekend.
All right. You do the same.
Smoke one for the nation.
All right, Ron. That was Ron. I appreciate your call. All right. I think that's it. I'm about to get out of here. Get ready to go. I'm going to have to call Cookie if you watching. I don't know if you watching or not. If you watching, Cookie, I need a pot of chili. I need a pot of chili. Oh, chili sounds so good because it's kind of cold out. I don't know why chili works good in the cold. But yeah, I could use a pot of chili. I'm going to have to call her if she's not watching. If you watching, text me and just let me know you got the message. If not, I'll call you. Everybody get out there. Enjoy your weekend. It's kind of cold out. It was cold this morning when I went out to take the little baby to school. I had to scrape the windows. I ain't had to scrape the windows in a long time. I was like, oh, this is bad. This means winter ain't too far away. But get out there. Try to stay warm. And as always, be the reason that somebody smiles this weekend. Till next time, I'm out, y'all.